What's going on, guys? It's your boy TorCrunch, and in today's video we will be starting out a new series called Character Evolutions. We will be taking a look at characters that have gotten many different versions or forms in the game and talk about how K-Lab evolved them. So to start it all off, we will begin with Ichigo Kurosaki. Also, before we begin, keep in mind this is as of September of 2017, so all the Ichigos up to this point. So let's go back 2 full years when the game first started off on September of 2015 when we were introduced to Bankai Ichigo. This character at the time was a decent starter, but even then he wasn't the best option. Looking at his stats, you can see why he has been mediocre at best since his release. With stats of 907 stamina, 598 attack, 330 defense, 531 SP, and 321 focus, you see the true weakness of Ichigo. In a way though, it makes sense just because in the anime and manga, Ichigo was not the strongest at the start. Overall, the first version of Ichigo in the game was never going to be one of the better characters, and that was obvious with this card. But then we move on a few months down the road, actually November of 2015 to be exact, and we get the release of Visored Ichigo. This one was a game changer at the very start. Funny enough, this was when I first started playing the game and was lucky enough to get him off a multi. This of course was before I made any videos, but in a way it did sway me towards making videos just because he was the first to really entice me into the game. I briefly remember him and Grimmjow being the stronger characters in the game. Anyways, looking at his stats, you get a character with decent attack at 648, and for the stats that's basically it. But that is not what makes him a good character. What he has in terms of skills is where he really excels. For example, he has Frenzy, which doubles his strong attack hits. So even though he has a miserable 558 SP, he essentially gets that doubled. But that is not where it stops for this character. He also gets Long Reach, Adrenaline, and Bruiser. So 3 upgrades towards his normal attack. So what you have is a very good hybrid and the first overall good Ichigo in the game. But that's just where it all starts, because after just about half a year later, we were introduced to Full Hollow Ichigo. It was June of 2016 when this hyped character was released. First of all, aesthetically, he looked amazing. But not only that, this character was made a god in the game. 701 attack, Long Reach, Bruiser, and Adrenaline. Same concept to Visored Ichigo, but way better upgrades, and of course his attack being better by 53 more attack. But that's not all. He also has 608 SP with 40% Bruiser. So yes, this right here was no doubt the best main character in the game, and from the time he was released up until 6 stars, which the only reason he wasn't as good was because he didn't get his 6-star version until way later down the road. Transitioning into 5 to 6 stars, we were introduced to the Aizen War arc, and that was when, boom, K-Lab blessed us with Dangai Ichigo. This right here is when I first started making videos on the game, and surprisingly, I was able to get him. So here is a clip of that. This is my second to last single summon. Honestly, single summons did not do anything for me. Kick me in the balls. Kick me in the balls. Jennifer, kick me, kick me, kick me, kick me. This character right here is no joke. Looking at his stats, you see the Ichigo with the highest attack in the game at 740. Add his soul trait of normal attack damage plus 20% and Bruiser of an additional 15%. You can see why this character was so hyped. He also has very impressive skills, with the best one being 50% additional damage on his strong attacks from Berserker. So not only can this character hit very hard from normal attacks, he can also inflict a lot of damage through his strong attacks, which I think people might not know about. Don't get me started with his special too though. His special is so nice and clean, and it's probably my favorite special of all the Ichigos in the game. But the hype dies down a bit on Ichigo for a few months just because we were introduced to several filler gachas, non-canon characters, and then we got into the Fullbring arc, and this is where we were introduced to characters like Yukio, Byakuya, and Kenny. Kenny, which kind of ruined Dangai for many just because he is so good. But then, of course, Deathberry Return came into the game, and it kind of surprised me just because Fullbring Ichigo was amazing. He was and still arguably is the best Ichigo. And the reason I say it surprised me is because I was made to believe that it didn't get any better than Dangai. And I was very wrong about that just because Fullbring Ichigo completely killed the game with 721 SP, Frenzy, 20% strong attack damage soul trait, and 40% bruiser. That alone screams OP. But what really makes him so nice is his combination of strong attacks. His first one lunges and gets everyone in front of him. Second one hits everyone in front of him and literally everyone across the map. And his third is a full screen attack, and like the name suggests, hits every enemy on the screen 2 to 3 waves. If you go on Bleach FYI, you can see Fullbring Ichigo is still the 4th highest overall in the game. And that's above great characters like New Stark, New Holly-Bell, the new Genjo. If I had to choose an Ichigo that surprised me the most, it would have to be this form, just because we had not seen the true power of pure strong attacks up to this point. Now that brings us to 2nd year anniversary Ichigo, or Lunar Ichigo, however you choose to call him. This form came out at the beginning of August for the 2nd anniversary of Bleach Brave Souls. This character was first of its kind, an exclusive Ichigo that was available specifically for the anniversary. He is the first Ichigo to be ranged and have a charged up attack. He also has 725 SP with Frenzy, and his soul trait is 25% strong attack damage, which is the highest increase at this point. Now, his normal attack damage shouldn't be taken lightly either, with his attack being 627 with 40% bruiser. Of course, you add the range, it just adds to how awesome this character truly is. His special is also very nice. Although it doesn't inflict status ailment, it hits really hard and everything on screen. So what you get overall is a better improved version of Fullbring Ichigo, just with ranged attacks being the only difference. And also, you can't tell me this character does not look amazing. And now we end it with Tag Team Ichigo, the latest form of him at this time. We knew he was coming out at some point because Caleb had mentioned it in a stream, but we did not expect him to come out so soon after Lunar Ichigo. And I feel like because of that, people kind of overlooked this Ichigo and weren't so hyped for him. Although I don't think he is the better Ichigo out of them all, I do believe he is very strong, and breaking him down, most noticeable thing about him is, of course, his SP at 725 with Frenzy. But there's other little things that add to him and that make him very good. For example, he has a very nice combination of strong attacks, his second strong attack being one of the longer lasting vortex in the game, and is very useful for PvE. And of course, one bigger thing is his double killer effect, which he gets from being a tag team character. Those are 20% extra damage on Soul Reapers and Arankars. So more often than not, this Ichigo will inflict a killer effect. With that said, that is all the Ichigos as of September of 2017. I'm sure there's bound to be more Ichigos in the future. Also, there is characters that I didn't include in here, like seasonals, just because I wanted to strictly go off canon versions. But if I had to choose my personal favorite form, it would have to be Lunar Ichigo, just because he's something different to the game, something different to what we're used to seeing, and overall I think he's just more enjoyable to use. Let me know in the comments who your personal favorite Ichigo is, and also let me know what you thought of this series, if you would like me to continue it or not. which I would love to do. Comment any suggestions as well. I am open to any. And of course, if you can go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe if you are new, that would mean a lot. Anyways, I love you guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.